Okay, we've been married 28 years. We were married in El Paso. We dated for 8 months and then we got engaged, and then we basically saved up for a wedding for 8 or 9 months and got married. We did save up for our own wedding, paid for everything pretty much ourselves. We did have a little bit of help, but it was a lot of fun. Enjoyed that kind of our wedding. It was a great wedding.
We did have a beautiful wedding, So I know we had a beautiful wedding, church wedding, and all the Hispanic traditions, Mexican
Yes.
tradition. We met when I used to work for Lady Foot Locker, for the Men's Foot Locker, and he used to work at Camelot next door, and he would come and watch the games in the Foot Locker. And
Yeah, I always make, it's kind of a bad joke because it was a tragedy, but the earth moved the night we met, and that was because of the earthquake during the World Series. I would come over and watch the news because of all the events that were happening, and so we started talking as we were watching the news because it was a slow night just in the mall. And so we talked and got to know each other, and that was in October. It was the World Series, and then we had our first official date that December.
Mm-hmm.
And
Francis, our neighbor, had to convince my mom to allow me to go out with Charles. And I was already in my 20s, and so, but because he was white, he was, we were like, it was the norm, So Francis, our neighbor, had already met him and fell in love with him and thought he was the greatest guy, so yeah. So she was the one that convinced my mom to allow him to come and date me. And actually I was a little nervous because my neighborhood, is kind of like a barrio, and I was thinking, oh, here's this white guy and he's going to come into a bar, he's going to get all paranoid and scared. I was already thinking because, it was new for me as well, so I thought he was going to run away and never come back again, or maybe turn around, actually.
I just drove up and we parked. It was a normal evening. It was December, so there was a lot of holiday stuff going on. And met her parents and that first date, and we had a great time. And can remember where we ate. Can remember where we went dancing afterwards.
My favorite memory is the fact that he would watch the novelas with my mom, and then he would, that's what allowed him to be able to interview the people that we know when we used to work at the Department of Human Services. In Spanish, and that's how he kind of was able to get the information from them.
My mother-in-law would come and visit, take care of her during the day, and some of my work, and so I got to know the novellas that way every summer. I'd already watched them in El Paso with her. Mm-hmm. When Minerva would be like getting ready for a date on a Friday night, and her mom would be tired watching novellas, I'd sit there, and when we first got to know each other, so I watched the novellas with her from the get-go, when we were first dating. And then as time wore on, and we were more and more together, and I was spending more and more time at their house, it just became a routine. We had a great wedding. It was in the church. I had converted to Catholicism. That was an interesting story in and of itself. But that was part of what we did. Did it in a convent with a nun who barely spoke English. That too was an interesting thought, that she was trying to teach me my prayers in English when she was having a hard time remembering them in English.
That's how he proved that he loved me. That's what my mom said. So, but that was the way he showed me he loved me. He went through all of that. We were worried about who was going to like me and who wasn't, and so when I met his mom, I thought he was going to think that I was his maid and marrying his maid or something. And then we were worried that his grandmother...
My grandmother, who was older, but then she shocked me to death. She was very loving to Minerva. From the get-go. She just walked up and hugged her when we met, and that was like, it was before we got married, but like right before. My mom had met her long before, but my grandmother had come for the wedding, and
Your mom and your sister, Becca.
Yeah, Becca, well, Becca's, yeah, she's,
Yeah.
and then, and everybody came, we had a great wedding, and then, we moved to Dallas, and that's where we worked for the Department of Human Services for a while, and we eventually moved on in our careers.
Obstacles,
We've been blessed, we haven't really had
we've been
many
blessed.
obstacles. Funniest thing is the amount of time in restaurants people stare at us.
and you can tell. You know, that one time that really stands out to me, and because I think I was proud, really, that's why it stands out to me, was that, you know, here we were all eating like, what is it? Golden Corral or something.
Don't advertise, we're not
where
paying.
where the buffets are, where the buffet meals are given, because we had a large family. And we're walking out, and this lady, you know, she made it a point. He asked Charles, excuse me, are these all your children? And it just cracks me up to think about how Charles turned around and looked at them and said, oh, yeah. You know, like, yeah, who's else supposed to be? And so she was like, oh, you have lovely children, you know, and then they ended with, you know, stuff like that, you know, but yeah, though that was the only thing that I've ever really felt anything like that.
We've come far enough. The irony of this is, and I think this really gives a good frame of reference, the case that I think was in 1958, to think about it, was illegal the year I was born, and now I've been married for almost 30 years. And so how far we've come, I think, is a good thing.
And surely we haven't gone through what that couple went through, you know, Mildred and Richard, you know, just, I can't even imagine, you know, I can't even imagine.
That it was illegal.
That it was, number one, it was illegal, and then number two, just having to leave the family, or, you know, somebody walking into your house and saying, what are you doing, you know, and, you know, just so, I mean, truly we have, I think we've come a long way, and I'm grateful for them having done that, you know.
Just, if you love someone, just be with that person.
Yeah.
More so and more so, people are starting to just be who they are.
And you will feel it, and so to couples, future couples, yeah, you are gonna go through some things with
Depending
maybe
where
your
you live.
children, depending where you're at. But other than that, you know, like my second daughter said, Andrea, you know, we're all part of the human race. That's who we are.